Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the BFNL Netball Show for another week. Huge edition coming up this week as we look back, obviously, at last week's action, and we also look towards this weekend's huge WorkSafe AFL Victoria Country Games. I've said huge a lot so far. That shows you how big it is. I'm just going to reel off this week's guests. Obviously, we've got the two ladies sitting next to me. We've got Faith McKenzie and Tilly White from our 17 under team. We've got Talia Holloway-Roden from one of our Interleague teams. We've got Kate McMahon and Georgia Cann from our other Interleague team. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to start introducing people because they're much more important than I am. Firstly, in her very first appearance as official co-host of the Netball Show, please welcome Rhiannon Banner. Banner, welcome.
Thanks, Sean.
Just brief as well. We don't get much out of our co-hosts here, so why should Rhiannon start anything different? Also joining us this week is the captain of the Ballarat Swans A-grade side and the pride of Beulah, Mikayla George. Mick, welcome.
Thank you very much, Shawnee.
We're going to give it more reason why you're here later on because it was a pretty big week for your netball club this past week. So
go the Swannies. It's been a good week. Celebrated hard.
I can imagine it would have been like a grand final down at Alfred in this week. But we'll start looking at last week's games and we'll start with the game between Lake Wendouree and Rhiannon. Took place out at Wendouree Reserve. Lake Wendouree winning it 52-30. Chrissy James 30 goals and Mel Allen 22 for the Lakers. Jetta Hurd 14 and Ruby Parry 10, the main goal scorers. For Rhiannon, interesting to see Emma Henry sneak into goals as well and shoot 6 goals. Best players for Lake Wendouree, Molly Boyle, Emma Gill and Chrissy James. And for Rhiannon, Emma Henry, Hayley Munro and Erin Riley. Not much in this game at half-time, Banner. It was only 4 goals in it. Rhiannon started really, really well. Made a couple of positional changes at half-time, though, and Lake Wendouree got on top from there on.
Yeah, it might have been a switch with Emma being a great defender down into shooting, would have then maybe lacked off in their defence, which then would have got Chrissy James and Mel Allen onto, shooting some great goals and good work to them. But yeah, maybe that's would have been. It's hard for her down at the moment. They're struggling a little bit with, like I said, their position. So moving a strong defender out of defence into shooting to try and get some goals up might have been a bit difficult for them in defence after that switch was made.
Also took Narelle Perkins off at half-time as well, who was really performing well at wing defence in the first half, and it just put things out of kilter a little bit, and Lakers were starting to get on top in attack. Mick, you've played both of these teams so far this year. Obviously, you weren't far away from it against Rhiannon last couple of weeks back, and Lake Wendouree was a bit of an eye-opener for you guys as well. So did you see this result's not really all that surprising for you?
Look, to be honest, it's not a shock. Lake Wendouree come out very strong in round 1. We hope to front them again later in the season, hopefully make a bit more of a difference. But I think Rhiannon did really well against Lake Wendouree, and they should be proud of themselves. Like Rhiannon was saying with the switch up with Emma Henry, that I think that made probably a huge difference too in the defensive line. But well done, Rhiannon. Good effort.
Yeah, really well done. Great to see a debutant for Lake Wendouree on the weekend as well. Laura McDonald coming in to the Lake Wendouree side. Talk about the rich getting richer, coming straight out of VNL Championship Netball into the Lakers side. Of course, her sister Sasha not playing last weekend as well, so good to have Laura playing in the BFL, and you'll actually see her in our Interleague team this weekend at the Eastern Oval. Sebastopol taking on East Point on the weekend, and whilst Banner said that Sebastopol were going to win last week, unfortunately, Rhiannon didn't quite come to task. East Point 63, defeating Sebastopol 41. Emma Farrell 32 goals and Lauren Jude 31 for East Point. Georgia Cann leading the way for Sebastopol with 21 goals. Better players for East Point: Lauren Atkinson, Marcel Galjon and Emma Farrell. And Georgia Cann, Prue Scott and Carlia Dix, the best players for Sebastopol. What happened?
Yeah, started off really well. Like, we come out firing and we were pretty close. We're only 4 goals down at after the first quarter. So second quarter we dropped down a little bit after half time. Don't know what happened. We just lost it, and I think we dropped off. We weren't playing very good netball, and you can't do that with a team like East Point. They'll run straight over you, and that's what they did, and we couldn't really get ourselves back in the end. So yeah, big loss for us. It was disappointing loss, but we thought we'd be a lot closer than what we did. But we'll just have to take that and work on it from here.
It's the thing that East Point do, though. They're the kind of club that if you give them that little bit, they will take it. They did it to you guys as well at the Eastern Oval not long ago, Mikayla as well, and they're just that kind of club that they're very opportunistic and they take their opportunities when they're presented.
Definitely. The day we played them down there, was a terrible day, actually. It was raining.
It was.
Wasn't very nice at all.
I had some actually really nice photos here from that day that I was going to put on the netball show, but I thought about it and thought, no,
like
she'd probably kill me because she had this big thing on her head and really drowned and taped on her bib, and it just didn't work.
No, it wasn't a nice day down there at all. But look, we really did learn a lot from playing East Point, and we learnt that, the game's not over until that final whistle, and it was a close game right until half time, and then they made a couple of changes, and it just really blew us out of the water. But I think East Point are just those little silent people at the back that just keep chipping away, and they're always competitive, really strong attacking end with Emma Farrell shooting goals. Yeah.
And as we said last week, very much flying under the radar at the moment too. Big game last weekend, the grand final rematch from last year, Sunbury taking on Melton, and whilst this was a pretty good game at quarter time, Melton leading 13-11 at quarter time, that was about it as far as the contest went, because Sunbury came out and went absolutely bang in the second quarter, 26 goals to 5 to signal their intentions, and in the end won the game 78-28. Huge result for the Sunbury Lions. Chloe Curran, 44 goals on the weekend. Ellie Randall, 30 as well, doing a great job at the Sunbury shooters. Maddie Gray, 19 goals for Melton, leading the way for them. Lauren Gilchrist was fantastic, playing arguably her best game in a couple of years, as I've heard from Sunbury. Kate Fletcher good as well as Abby Healy. Maddie Gray, Carly Rickman and Brooke Gleeson, the better players for Melton as well. I thought Sunbury were going to win this one, Rhiannon, but I didn't see this margin coming at all.
Yeah, I think playing Melton before, they've got a couple of young players in there, and Madeline Gray, who shot 19 goals, she's a great player.
Oh, she's only 15 as well, playing A grade, so don't take that away.
Yeah, and I think her inexperience and the experience of Sunbury, and their players, I think they have like 4 or 5 VNL players in their side. It was a bit tough for Melton, and I think with their restructure this year, they're really struggling. I did think it would have been closer than it was, but Sunbury are a very talented side, and I think that's how they ran over the top of Melton last week.
It's interesting seeing this game as well, because Melton come back to the pack a little bit with that result now, Mikayla, and I suppose the both of you, captains of teams that are only a game behind them on the ladder, would probably be eyeing off Melton now and saying, well, hang on, they're a bit vulnerable, and you guys were tipped to play finals last week when you hadn't won a game, and now all of a sudden you look at the ladder and think, hang on, Ballarat and Sebastopol are both only a game away from 5th. You're a big chance to get one of these teams if they're on a bad day.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely looking a little bit more doable now when you look at the ladder. I mean, that is unfortunately a fair blowout, but I have experienced 1 or 2 of them before in my life, so I do feel sorry for them very much. But they are a very young side, and hopefully they do develop in future weeks. But hopefully, for myself and Rhiannon's sake, maybe that 5th might just sneak in.
5th and 6th might open up a little bit. We're hoping for you too. Unfortunately for Melton South as well, the cousins, of course, crosstown cousins of the Bloods, it was also a bit of a one-way traffic for their game on Sunday at Eureka Stadium as they took on North Ballarat City, and it was North City 70, defeating Melton South 25 to move the Northies to the top of the BFL ladder. Jordan Bibby, 78 goals last week. How do you back that up? Drop in 57 if you don't mind. Well done, George. To lead the way for North City. Melton South sharing the goals. Shireen Wolf, their major goal scorer, with 12 goals. Stacey McCartan, Olivia Jones and Emma Church, North Ballarat City's best players. Stiff. Jordan Bibby, 57 goals and couldn't get a run in the best players. That's a bit stiff. Melton South, 70. I reckon she has to shoot 70 again to get somewhere around there. Melton South, Monique Robertson and Shireen Wolf, they're better players as well. North City in stellar form at the moment, Banner.
They are on top of the ladder at the moment.
Absolutely flying along, sorry.
Flying on, that's alright, sure. They have some great players down at North City, and I think with Annie down there and Stace, they are really working well together as a team. And I think last year they dropped off a little bit and were a bit disappointing with their season. So now I think they've picked it back up, and with Jordan back with 78 goals last week and 57 this week, I think she'd be one to stop. But Melton South, still not sure on how they're going to travel with the rest of the season. Not sure how many players they have at the moment. So I think they're really struggling still. But a great effort to them to get out there and, continue like Bacchus Marsh, continue to get smashed by a fair bit, so it's a bit hard.
The thing is, as we hear about the teams like Melton South and Bacchus Marsh, they're always having fun when they're out there as well.
Yeah.
So sometimes it doesn't feel like you're putting this many goals on because they're still out there having fun. We've mentioned Jordan Bibby a fair bit in the last couple of weeks, and quite rightly so. She scored 130 goals in 2 games or something like that. But every time I've looked at North City's best players this year, Mick, Stacey McCartan has been named as their best player. She's leading the Sally McLean medal, as she was after 4 rounds anyway. And you saw her up close and personal during the Regional State League this year, and she's a pretty tough player to stop when she's on song.
She is. I definitely would rather have her on my team than playing against her. But Stacker, no, you can learn a lot of Stacey. She's really hard for the ball. She's very committed to her netball, runs strongly down that court, front cutting all the time. So if she is still up winning and piling in that best on, she definitely deserves it because she's true inspiration to the game of netball. She's a really outstanding player.
Yeah, she's indeed. She's also a winner of the Stockland Wendouree Player of the Week for round 2 this year, so she's already got one of those under her belt, and we'll name this week's player in a couple of moments' time. But before we do, this is the first time I've said this on the Netball Show, and the first time we've said this on BFNL Media for almost 2 years. Ballarat's A-grade team had a win on the weekend. How does that sound?
That sounds bloody good.
First time since round 16 at 2013, Ballarat got the win, and it wasn't just a little win either. It wasn't the sneak over the line style of stuff. Have a look at this: 65-21 the Swannies got up. So not only did they win, they absolutely romped at home. Kelly Moran 35 goals, Hayley Fiddler 15, and Kirsten Filand 15 for the Swannies. Bernie Walsh up into the A-grade side for Bacchus Marsh this week, shooting 12 goals as their leading goal scorer. Better players for Ballarat: Rachel Doverston, Kirsten Filand and Hayley Fiddler, and for Bacchus Marsh, Alicia Burgess, Michaela Hawken and Gabby Pino. Mick, talk us through this one, because it's an interesting result. Normally when the dam bursts like this, it's a close game, kind of what I was almost expecting against Redan in the close game a couple of weeks ago. But you've gone out there, you've got your first win, and it's been over for most of the game because you've just gone out and dominated. How did it feel? Did it kind of feel a bit surreal?
Yeah, it definitely felt surreal. And to be honest, I mean, because as an A-grade team, we're all very new to the club. I think we definitely did it for the spectators and for the club members. I think it meant a lot to them, just as much as it meant to us, of course. But it was really lovely seeing the smile on their faces when that final whistle blew.
When you look back at the start of the season, you've had a pretty tough run. You've played North City and Lake Wendouree, the top 2 sides, straight up. You've played also Redan, who are in pretty good nick as well. So you've played some pretty good sides to start off the season. You now have a look at that ladder, which is up on the screen at the moment. We can see the ladder, and we can see that, yes, you're in 10th spot at the moment, but really, you're equal with Banner's Mob on 7th for wins. You're a game behind 5th spot. You'd look at the ladder now after that win with the confidence you got from it and think, hang on, this season's just opened right up for us.
Definitely. And I mean, the first couple of rounds played Lake Wendouree, which was a little bit unfortunate in round 1. We got a bit of a pounding, but we learned a lot from that. And in future weeks, I mean, most games have been pretty close. We lost to North by a couple, Redan by a couple, and even East Point, although we lost by double figures, I think it was only 10 to 15 goals or something. Yeah, in the end. So although, we've had a couple of losses, I think from each game we've developed, we've taken away the negatives, we've looked at our positives, and we've really built and developed as a side. And I think last week when we played Bacchus Marsh, I think that was just proof that we're here and ready to rumble, and got a lot of great girls within the side that are very committed to their netball, and I think we don't want to do it for ourselves almost. We want to do it for the Swans, and we want to make everyone around us and the lower grades within our club and even the juniors proud to be a part of Swans.
Watched a couple of your games so far this year. I've kind of wanted to be there when that first win was there to kind of glory hunt her and get the hugs and everything like that. It didn't quite work out that way, but what's really impressed me about your team this year has been your defensive combinations. Chelsea McMahon and Rachel Doverston are playing fantastic netball, and it looks like they've played together for years. Such as the chemistry they've got in the goal ring. Yeah,
definitely. Rachel was a bit of a late snag, but we got her towards the end of pre-season, and Chelsea, coaching the C grade, she's got so much wisdom down back, and the way those two girls communicate and feed that ball out to Demi Donnellan and even Tara in wing defence, I think it's just a true I suppose, asset to their game, and how they go about even training and communicating to each other, that it's really starting to come off for them, and I think they deserve a good pat on the back.
And great to see Chelsea McMahon playing good netball. 3305 represent as well. Another Portland girl making her mark in the league. We just saw the ladder up on the screen as well. Some really close kind of stuff going on there at the moment. It seems that North City, Lakers, East Point and Sunbury are that little bit ahead of the rest of the group at the moment. But we know that that is tightening up something fierce at the moment. Stockland Wendouree player of the week time for this week for round 5. We've had a look at the form for this one. We've had a chat to a few people, and from all reports, Sunbury's Lauren Gilchrist has played her best game in probably 2 years at the club. I know her former coach Kim Bailey said she was super impressive on the weekend. She's been picked in our Interleague squad. She had a great game on the weekend. Our round 5 Stockland Wendouree player of the week, Lauren Gilchrist from the Sunbury Footy Club. Her second in as many years. She got one last year on the 300th game, so good to see Loz racking up the dollars at our BFL sponsor, Stockland Wendouree Banner.
Yeah, it's great. It's good to see. At least we have her in our team this week against Maryborough, so great pickup for us, I think.
You do indeed, and a really good segue because we're going to talk about that team. And congratulations to the both of you for being picked to represent the Ballarat Football Netball League this weekend in Interleague. Your first Interleague clashes for both of you in an Interleague. Obviously, you played RSL for the BFL as well, but Interleague that little bit different on an outdoor court. So, travelling up to Maryborough to take on the Maryborough Castlemaine District Football Netball League. Exciting times, Banner. Well done.
Thanks.
What are you expecting from this game, Mick? Obviously, you've had a training run together. You trained with the Sovereigns on Monday night. There's quite a few girls you already know in the squad because you've got 3 Ballarat girls in there yourself, Rach Doverston and Hayley Fiddler. So, bit of an interesting kind of time as well as the girls you know from the RSL.
Yeah, definitely. No, training was really productive. I think we started to mesh well together, and like you said, there's those couple of connections within each league. You know, girls that have played together. And play currently within the same team. So I think that's really going to benefit us on Saturday. But like I said, we just worked on different court structures, did a couple of court rotations, moving girls around into different positions. But I think Saturday will be a real interesting experience, and I think we're all really looking forward to it, so it'll be good, and hopefully we can get a win on the board.
We'll have a chat to Talia Holloway-Roden, your coach, shortly, Banner, but you come up against the Maryborough Castlemaine side that are probably a bit more settled than you guys. It's basically their RSL combination with Jess Parry, someone that you've played with at ACU Sovereigns this year, coming into the side, who has been in that league almost forever now and has played Interleague forever. So is that a concern that you're playing against a team that's played a lot of netball together already?
I don't think it would be a concern. I think most of us, there's a couple of little groups where we've all played together. So I think, we might all come together as a team, and we have trained together this week, and I think that was really good for us. And Jess might be hard to stop. They might have some really good players. We're not sure on who we're playing or who we're coming up against.
Yep.
And, the types of players that they are. So we'll have to just settle in and work together as a team, which we'll be trying to do.
Be interesting to see Jess play a goal attack on Sarah Milton at goal defence as well, or yourself at goal defence. So,
yeah.
And I'm personally looking forward to seeing this one try and chase Jess Williamson around the court as well. 2 absolute quick players as well. Very similar kind of players. So, yeah, very interesting day out there. Girls, good luck with your Interleague as well.
Thank you.
Obviously, we're keeping a very close eye on things, and if everything goes well, we might even gather somewhere on Saturday night and celebrate, Nick. What do you reckon?
Maybe might have 1 or 2 if we bring home a cup.
Sounds like a good idea. We're going to go and have a further look at our Interleague sides now. We've got a host of interviews that have been taped. So before we throw to them, we're going to thank our 2 guests today. Well, our 1 guest and our co-host. Banner, thank you very much.
Thanks, John. Good
and of course, Mikayla, thanks for coming in, and you're welcome in absolutely any time you like.
Thanks very much, Sean.
Absolutely no doubt about that. Let's have a look at our Interleague segment this week, starting with a look at our 17 and under team and a couple of girls from the squad that will take on the Bendigo Football Netball League at the Eastern Oval this weekend. 2 of the defenders from the team, Tilly White and Faith McKenzie. Welcome back to the Netball Show for this week. It's now time to start having a look at our different Interleague teams taking place this weekend in the WorkSafe AFL Victoria Country Championships. And we're starting with our 17 and under team that will be taking on the Bendigo Football Netball League here in Ballarat on the weekend. We've got 2 of the stars of our team. They always say defenders are a bit of a different breed of netballers, so we're going to find that out today because we've got our 2 key defenders from the 17 under team in here. Firstly, from North Ballarat, Matilda White. Tilly, welcome.
Thank you.
And from Lake Wendouree, Faith McKenzie. Faith, welcome to the Netball Show.
Thank you.
Tilly, tell us a little bit about the Interleague preparation so far. Of course, a lot of the girls playing this weekend you played with in the Regional State League tournament over the summer months. You played last weekend at the Woodgrove Shield. You played in the BNA tournament as well a couple of weeks ago. So you've had a pretty good preparation leading into this weekend.
Yeah, Probably going in a bit confident. We're a good team. We all get along. There's no like individual groups. Like we're all really good friends, which is nice.
Yep. Going in a little bit confident, it's probably an understatement, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. This one's absolutely full of Dutch courage. Don't worry about that. Faith, your first time in you didn't go through the Regional State League. You were in the Wimmera set up then, but you've come in for the Interleague teams for the BNA tournament and for obviously last week and this week. How have you found the team dynamic, so to speak?
Yeah, it's really good. We've got along really well, and like we haven't really trained together, and we've just clicked really easily.
There's a lot of girls in there, obviously, from Lake Wendouree and North Ballarat, so it makes it that little bit easy because it's you go in there with girls that you probably know already, so
yeah,
makes it that little bit easier.
Yeah.
Okay, Tilly, tell us about Faith as a netballer. I actually saw her for the first time on the weekend, and the reports were very, very good, just about the range and the footwork and the defensive intercepts and everything like that. You tell us a little bit about how she goes.
She's pretty impressive, really quick. Got some good feet on it.
Mm-hmm.
Gets a lot of touches, which is nice.
Yep.
Really good when it comes to rebounds. Yeah, she makes my life a bit easier.
And Faith, we've seen a fair bit of Tilly in the last couple of years because every time there's a photo up for a grand final or something, Tilly trots out. And in the Interleague time, she's always the one kind of making sure she's posing when I put the camera out and everything like that. But what's she actually like as a netballer on the court?
Oh, she's a great netballer. She is really loud and like she can tell you where to go, and it's not too bossy. She's
told me where to go a couple of times. It's got nothing to do with netball.
Yes, it's really good to have her on the court, and she's a really good rebounder and keeps on her player.
Yep. Coaches that you've got for this week, a couple of pretty experienced coaches. Obviously, Sheree Collins been in the Interleague system for a while, and Katie Williams coming into the Interleague system this year as well, and really good first year as coach, obviously looking after the Sovereign sides as well. So a lot of experience coming in from a coaching perspective. Of course, she's been playing netball for 100 years as well.
Yeah, Katie's really good when it comes to like the attacking side, and she has really good ideas, and she makes it straightforward and like clear cut. There's no like grey area.
Yep.
Sheree's really good when it comes to defence, and I don't know, she's always got something to add and support to make us better, which is what we need at this age.
Mm-hmm. Which is true. It's all about development at this age and all about making sure you've got the skills right to take on senior netball, and you're in a good environment to do that. And is that something you found as well, Faith, that you've got really, really supportive coaches and support staff in this team?
Yeah, the coaches are really good. They help us out a lot, and they can tell us like just little things, and they word it really well, and we can just put it into play really quickly.
So this Saturday, taking on Bendigo at the Eastern Oval, 12 o'clock. All the details on the screen at the moment for those that want to get along. Please do, because you'll see some fantastic netball. Not just these two. These two are stars, but the rest of the team's pretty damn good as well. But what are you expecting from the Bendigo Footy League this week, and what kind of game style are you expecting on Saturday?
Well, I think it'll be a really quick, like fast-paced game, and it'll be really close. It'll be good to see how it ends up.
Yep. What about yourself, Tilly? Obviously, you've been in this kind of structure for a little bit now with the BFL, so probably got more of an inkling of what we'd be looking for.
Look, I find Bendigo a contact team, so they're dominant when it comes to the contact, and I find that they have a slow possession, they hold on to the ball a lot. So I don't know. I think once you've rattled their cage, they're gone. Personally, from a goal shooter perspective, goalkeeper perspective.
So that's how you're going to beat them? Just rattle their cage a little bit, you reckon? Get into them early?
I don't know, intimidation, really loud. They just miss the shots.
Interesting to know. There's a bit of inside knowledge for you as well, Faith. Why do you think you're going to win this game on the weekend?
Because we work really well together as a team, and we bonded really well, and we should do pretty well.
Oh, we're very much looking forward to watching the game and watching the two of you, as well as the rest of the team, go about your business. Good luck on Saturday, Faith.
Thank you.
And good luck on Saturday, Tilly. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of you on the court and off the court on Saturday, so very much looking forward to that. Two of the stars from our 17 and under team, Matilda White and Faith McKenzie, joining us on the Netball Show today. It's now time to turn our attention to the senior ranks in the BFL's netball ranks, and we're catching up with the coach of the team that will be taking on the Maryborough Castlemaine District Football and Netball League this Saturday up in Maryborough, Talia Holloway-Roden. Faith McKenzie and Matilda White, two members of our 17 and under netball team taking place this week. Now joining us, time to turn our attention to our team that's taking on the Maryborough Castlemaine District Football and Netball League this Saturday up in Maryborough. We've got the coach of that side joining us, Talia Holloway-Roden. Talia, welcome to the Netball Show.
Thank you for having me.
Long time watcher, first time participator, so to speak.
Yes, I watch your shows with keen interest every week.
There is that co-host position opening, so this could very well be your audition.
Could be.
Could be indeed. Obviously, this is a fairly unique experience, the team that you're coaching, because with the Maryborough Castlemaine League, their opponents, the Allenbank District Footy League, pulled out of the netball at not quite the 11th hour, but more the 9th or 10th hour, after initially letting AFL Goldfields know they were coming down. What it's done, though, it's created an opportunity for another group of players to experience Interleague netball for the Ballarat Footy League, which is something that's really exciting.
It really is. It gives the BFL and us an opportunity to actually showcase more of the strength of what we actually have in the region. And it actually gives more girls an opportunity to play that higher level of netball and hopefully strengthen the pathways all the way through. Yep. Obviously, with the start-up of the Sovereigns this year as well, we want to be trying to create as much pathway level up to the Ballarat and the Western District can be the strength of netball in the region.
Now, you were approached to coach this side by the BFL and the AFL Goldfields. How did you take it when they came up to you? Obviously, you're coaching at 19 under level for Rhiannon this year, and a bit of a step up to coach senior sides.
Definitely. So I'm very excited, nervous.
Yep.
But it's a great opportunity for me. I've been helping, I guess, a development position at Sovereign, so trying to learn as much as I possibly can. I help out anywhere I possibly can and attend all their training sessions and sessions with Eloise Southby and all those fantastic Australian netballers.
People like that to learn off as well.
Yeah, and so that's been this year. I mean, previously to this, I have coached senior teams, so seniors, reserves and juniors all the way through in the Central Highlands as well. So it's not brand new, but Interleague's the next step up, and it's challenging. And it's exciting and another learning experience just to keep moving through, and I hope that it's the start of many more opportunities as well.
Yeah, let's hope so. The team that you're taking into battle, so to speak, on Saturday coming up on the screen at the moment, and fairly balanced team as well. There's a nice sprinkling of girls who played in our RSL team and the RSL competition, with Jetta Hurd playing in the Wimmera RSL as well. Girls from the Sovereigns as well, Hayley Fiddler, Rhiannon Banner in the Sovereigns mix as well as Sarah Milton. So there's some nice experience and youth in the team for you.
There is, and it's great that we can draw upon those girls who do have that Sovereigns experience as well. They're going to be keen, obviously, leading the team, and we've actually got a nice spread in terms of players that have played together, maybe not all together, but a few here and there that are coming from the similar teams or from the Sovereigns area, so that, the team has come together sort of in that last minute period. So having that strength through the court with people who have played together before will really assist us on the weekend.
And you probably know a little bit about some of these players just through your observations throughout the season, obviously being with Rhiannon and a couple of Rhiannon girls there. And I know you were at the Ballarat game against Rhiannon because I saw the highlights that we had on the netball show last week, and I think you were eating chips or a burger or just something of enormous size when the highlights were going past the sidelines. So you've got to see
salad roll, thank you.
You've got to see a fair few of these girls in action. So who are you looking forward to kind of having out on the court for you?
Well, so I was obviously with the Ballarat Rhiannon game, was an opportunity to have a look at a few players. So we've got Mikayla George, and we've also got Rachel Doveston, and we've got Hayley Fiddler, who obviously I've seen through Sovereigns as well. So it's really good in that some more younger girls coming through have got the opportunity to actually take a step up and hopefully dominate on the weekend. I guess I've got Ruby and Jetta from Rhiannon, but I'm also keen to, see Lauren Gilchrist from Sunbury come up. A lot of experience there in terms of, and will help our team on Saturday. And we've also got Olivia Jones as well from North, who I've also watched a little bit, we've played North already this year, so being able to watch them hopefully all come together nicely. And
it's great to have someone like a Lauren Gilchrist in the squad that is a very experienced netballer, has been playing in the BFL since Sunbury started in the competition, obviously is somebody from the Eastern Bloc clubs as well, so we're getting that representation from the Eastern Bloc clubs in there too. So, and she's just one of those freaks that just runs all day as well.
And she's very keen and excited to come back and be part of it, so that's good as well.
It's fantastic. Now, you took all the girls for training last night. You went up and trained them with the Sovereigns Div 1 team last night in Bacchus Marsh. How did that go? How did they go kind of getting to know each other for the first time?
Well, most of them already either know each other through uni, Tuesday night netball, Saturday netball, so there wasn't too many that didn't know anyone, which was good.
Well, that's good.
We chose to go with the Sovereigns to train with them with the Div 1 because 3 of the girls are obviously part of that team. They've got their final game this week, so trying to get everyone together is difficult at the best of times, especially then when you've got 3 that play for Sovereigns and you've got Tuesday night netball and Thursday night netball and Saturday, so it was sort of the only night, but it actually worked really well, and then our girls got their first chance to have a hit out together, play together, train together, and also compete against a higher level team in terms of the Sovereigns Div 1, and so that they'll actually have a good hit out before Saturday comes.
Have you got another training run between now and Saturday?
No, we don't.
Okay.
So that was basically our sort of one chance to come together and everyone to meet each other. So
you come together on Thursday night, though, for jump presentation.
Yeah, Thursday night is a jumper presentation, so they'll all get together and have dinner and stuff with the BFL with the other interleague teams and get their dresses presented to them. So
that'll be great. I'm looking forward to that one as well. Now, the expectations from your opposition, playing the Maryborough Castlemaine District Footy League, who it's basically the team that they took into the Regional State League this year, adding Jess Parry from Navarre, who was obviously a sovereign shooter as well, and somebody that has been in that mix for a long, long time, that interleague mix. It's a team that already has played a lot of games together, already does work very well together, and a team that showed in the Regional State League competition they're very competitive. Yep.
So I have watched them a couple of times at the RSL, and also being from Central Highlands originally before it moved with,
being from the Western Plains League.
Before it moved with Central Highlands, I am aware of a few of their players in terms of playing against them or sort of seeing them around the trap. So they're definitely a strong team, and they'll send their strongest team that they possibly can. So we need to be ready for that on Saturday. Obviously, we can't combat the fact that they've been playing together for a couple of years now in terms of the similar people on the team, and Jess is a fantastic addition for them. So I was watching her Kiwi last night, yes. So we can only try and bring our strongest team that we can, and then we need to be having basically the highest intensity from basically the first whistle, because we can't allow them to get the jump on us early because they have played together so long. So we need to hopefully be able to gel quickly to come across with the win.
Have you set any specific goals for Saturday, or basically just to be in front at the final whistle?
To win. Basically to win. Obviously everyone's travelling to Maryborough, so it's a little. I'd love to be able to get everyone on and participating in the actual game, but it does come down to winning, and that's what all the girls are going there to do as well. We're all very competitive, and that's what you want on Saturday, and we're hoping to basically bring home the win for the BFL.
Very much looking forward to it. It's an exciting concept, having the other team there this year as well, and having that extra opportunity. So best of luck for Saturday.
Thank you.
Be keeping tracks on what's happening all day. I'll be down in Ballarat, but we'll definitely be keeping an eye on what's happening with you. So best of luck for it, and best of luck for the start of a long interleague coaching career.
Thank you.
Thanks to Talia Holloway-Roden, the coach of the BFL side, going up to Maryborough. It's now time to have a look at our other BFL Open side, and we're going to cross down to training, pre-game training down at Ballarat Grammar. We're going to catch up with members of the Ballarat Footy League's Open side that will take on the Bendigo Footy League. Here we are at Ballarat Grammar for one of the final training sessions for our interleague side to take on the Bendigo Football Netball League this week. Joining me are the coach of that side, Kate McMahon, and the captain, Georgia Cann. Ladies, welcome to the Netball Show this week.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Shawnee.
Any time at all. Kate, talk to us a little bit about this game. Obviously, the team that you've got, a very strong team, 4 VNL players, VNL Championship players in the team, with Laura McDonald coming into the team earlier this week.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with the makeup of the team, and especially the depth that I've got and the versatility across a number of positions. So that's going to allow us, I suppose, to hopefully match up on the opposition changes that we need to do for the game. So, and of course, the other advantage that a lot of players have come in with known combinations and played quite a bit with each other. So when it comes to interleague, that's often something that is hard to get. So I'm really pleased with the amount of players that we've got that already have that in their bag.
And Georgia, look, there's that familiarity with the team, having played, most of you played together in the Regional State League, and the girls that are coming in are all familiar with each other from Sovereigns. But how have you found, like, you combination with Jordan Bibby and just things like that that are a little bit different from the normal? How have you found that?
Yeah, it's been great to have a new couple of girls at training. They obviously bring a lot of new ideas and fresh feel about it.
Yep.
Personally, I've played with Jordan Bibby before when we played for Pride back in the day, and also Lauren Atkinson. First time playing with Lauren Dew and getting to know her, which has been really lovely. But yeah, as I said, we've mostly had the opportunity to play together at some point, so we're feeling pretty confident.
That's good. How's the feeling around the squad going into the game? Obviously, Bendigo 2 years ago played them, beat them. Last year was, we all know what happened last year, we won't dwell on it in the interleague. How are you feeling going into this game?
Look, I'm feeling actually as confident as I can. I feel like I've had the strongest team in my time that I've held this role, which is really exciting. And as I say, when it comes to actually looking at the team across the board, I've got the ability to rotate defenders into shooting positions and vice versa. And of course, through the mid-court, I've got many a player that can play both in defence and attack. So for me, I'm very confident in knowing that if I need to make a change, I can do that and not lose the depth or the intensity in the player that I'm bringing on from the bench, which in my position is a really great one to be in. So I'm genuinely excited about this team.
Georgia, it's your third year playing in the Interleague team and in this Interleague structure with the BFL. You're an exponent of the Interleague program. How do you feel this team's going to go, and how do you feel about playing Interleague in general?
I really enjoy playing Interleague. I think that it's a great opportunity to play with some great players from teams that you might not necessarily have the opportunity to play with. So that's always exciting, and some great netball is always played when you put those types of players out on the court. I'm really confident in how we're going to play this weekend. There are so many options and we're going to be very versatile, and if something's not working, I know that there's the depth in the team for Kate to be able to make changes immediately. There'll be no hesitation about that, I wouldn't think, Sean. So there'd be no excuse for us not to come out with a win on the weekend with the depth that we have.
Not knowing the Bendigo team at this stage, obviously at time of filming, Bendigo hadn't released their squad. Does that make a difference, or is it actually clarified a bit for you because now you just concentrate on what you're going to do on the day, not so much the opposition?
Oh, look, I think in this day and age, I'm not going to lie, like knowing something about the opposition is handy. And there's a little bits and pieces filtering through that they've got their own plethora of BNL players. So, look, I'm not going to lie, I might just tap onto the old BNL TV website and maybe take a look just to fill in time. But no, look, I think Interleague, like I've always said, is about having strength in your own squad and the combinations working and getting that timing right. And I really believe that Interleague is often won by the right amount of timing coming from transition out of defence and attack. I'm also believe that there's a lot of intercepts and a lot of turnover in Interleague. So for me, it's really about the transition, and that's where I sort of feel like we've got a lot of known combinations to get that timing right. So I'm hoping that will be something that we'll be able to really show on the day. So about them, I'd like to know a little bit more, sure, but I'm not necessarily fussed that I don't at this point in time.
Lauren Jew's come in as almost your development player this year, but has looked really good at training tonight and is really starting to blend in well with the team.
Yeah, absolutely. The beautiful thing about Lauren is that she has some nice fluid movements when she gets going, and she's very much a confidence player for mine, and being on the home court in front of arguably a home crowd for her, I think will be a perfect scenario for her to really get out there and put her very best out there. We've just been tinkering a couple of things technically with her, but I'm really confident that she can just bring her own natural flair to that beautiful East Point court that offers a home advantage to many, especially the shooters, I think arguably a lot of people would say, and that had a lot to do with my inclusion with her in the team, because I think she'll be a nice little change up if we need be to bring on a little bit of power and a little bit of speed through the baseline and around the ring. So I'm pretty excited about having her on the side.
How do you like shooting at the East Oval?
Love it.
Not one of your favourites, is it?
No, it hasn't been in the past, but that doesn't mean it won't be on the weekend.
Having said that, training intensity, obviously training indoors, a little bit different to what you're going to face, but the intensity's been right there anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. We always, that's something that Kate expects of us all the time, to train at intensity, and when we do that, we step out and play a really great level of netball. So I'm looking forward to the weekend's game, and can't wait for everyone to get the opportunity to get out there and have a good game. Yeah,
very much looking forward to the game. 1:30 p.m. at the Eastern Oval this Saturday. These two chicks and the rest of their team taking on the Bendigo Football Netball League. Make sure you're there. Make sure you get down to the Eastern Oval and check it out, because it's going to be a great game. Kate, Georgia, thanks for joining us on the Netball Show this week, and the absolute best of luck for Saturday. Very much looking forward to watching the game.
Thanks, Shawnee. Come along down. Don't worry about the footy. Come and check us out.
And thank you for joining us on the BFNL Netball Show for another week, our special Interleague edition this week. We'll be back next week with all of the wash-up from the weekend's Interleague games, and of course a big preview of Round 6 action in the BGT A-grade competition next week. We'll see you then.
He's the best at his job.
Did you get us all in?
I hope so.
Imagine if we had to do that again.